The assertion that no manufacturer makes a listed Raintight connector for electrical metallic tubing, or EMT, is something that requires careful examination. The information originates from a newsletter highlighting a critical point regarding the listing and labeling of EMT fittings. The key takeaway is that, at least as of the time the newsletter was disseminated, no manufacturer was authorized to mark their listed compression-type EMT fittings with the Raintight marking. This assertion is further substantiated by the claim that no Raintight EMT fittings were approved by any nationally recognized testing laboratory at that time, irrespective of any labeling or packaging claimed. It's crucial to understand the background and implications of this information. Electrical metallic tubing, or EMT, is a common type of raceway used to protect electrical conductors. It's a thin-walled tubing, typically made of galvanized steel or aluminum, and is often used in both exposed and concealed locations. Fittings are used to connect sections of EMT to each other, as well as to electrical boxes and enclosures. When an electrical system is installed outdoors or in wet locations, it's essential to use fittings that are rated as Raintight to prevent water from entering the raceway and potentially causing damage to the conductors or creating a safety hazard. The term Raintight indicates that the fitting is designed to prevent water from entering under specific test conditions. This rating is typically provided by a nationally recognized testing laboratory, such as Underwriters Laboratories or UL. UL provides testing and certification services for a wide range of products, including electrical equipment. When a product is UL listed, it means that UL has tested the product and determined that it meets certain safety standards. The listing is indicated by the UL mark on the product. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, is a widely adopted standard for the safe installation of electrical wiring and equipment in the United States. It's published by the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, and is updated every 3 years. The NEC contains specific requirements for the installation of EMT and fittings, including requirements for Raintight installations. NEC Section 314.15 covers damp or wet locations and states that in damp or wet locations, boxes, conduit bodies, and fittings shall be placed or equipped so as to prevent moisture from entering or accumulating within the box, conduit body, or fitting. Boxes, conduit bodies, and fittings installed in wet locations shall be listed for use in wet locations. The UL website provides additional information about Raintight requirements for electrical products. It's important to note that the information in the newsletter is dated, and the situation may have changed since then. It's always a good idea to check with the manufacturer and UL to confirm the current listing status of EMT fittings. The significance of this issue can vary depending on local jurisdictions. NEC Section 90.4 grants the authority having jurisdiction, or OJ, the responsibility for interpreting and enforcing the NEC. This means that the AHJ has the final say on whether or not a particular installation meets the requirements of the code. NEC Section 90.7 covers examination of equipment for safety. It states that for equipment to be judged suitable for a particular purpose, the equipment shall be listed or field labeled for that purpose. This means that the AHJ may require that all the EMT fittings used in Raintight installations be UL listed for that purpose. Firstly, to clarify, the absence of a Raintight marking on listed compression-type EMT fittings at a certain point in time does not automatically imply that all such fittings are unsuitable for wet locations. Secondly, the fitting might still be compliant if installed correctly with additional measures. Thirdly, the key is in the interpretation and enforcement by the local authority having jurisdiction. It is crucial to consult with local electrical inspectors and authorities to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. Now let's delve deeper into the technical aspects and implications of this issue. The primary concern revolves around the integrity of electrical systems in environments where moisture is present. Water ingress into electrical conduits and enclosures can lead to several problems, including corrosion of conductors and equipment, short circuits, ground faults, and ultimately, electrical failures or even fires. Therefore, the NEC mandates specific requirements for installations in damp or wet locations to mitigate these risks. When the NEC refers to Raintight or wet location listed equipment, it's indicating that the equipment has been rigorously tested to withstand exposure to moisture and prevent water from entering the enclosure. These tests typically involve subjecting the equipment to simulated rainfall, water spray, or submersion, and verifying that no water penetrates the enclosure or compromises its functionality. The UL listing process involves a comprehensive evaluation of the product's design, materials, and manufacturing processes to ensure that it meets the applicable safety standards. This includes verifying that the product is capable of withstanding the environmental conditions for which it is rated. The absence of a Raintight marking on EMT fittings raises questions about the level of protection they provide against water ingress. While the fittings may still be listed for general use, they may not have been specifically tested and certified for Raintight applications. This means that they may not be suitable for use in locations where they are directly exposed to rainfall or other sources of moisture. In such cases, additional measures may be necessary to ensure that the electrical system is adequately protected. This could involve using additional sealing compounds, such as silicone caulk or duct seal, to create a watertight barrier around the fittings. It could also involve installing the fittings in a sheltered location, where they are not directly exposed to rainfall. The specific requirements for Raintight installations can vary depending on the local jurisdiction. Some jurisdictions may strictly enforce the NEC requirements and require that all EMT fittings used in wet locations be UL listed for that purpose. Other jurisdictions may be more flexible and allow the use of non-listed fittings, provided that they are installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions and any additional requirements imposed by the AHJ. It's important to understand the local requirements and to consult with the AHJ to ensure that the installation is compliant. The NEC also provides guidance on the selection and installation of electrical equipment in hazardous locations. Hazardous locations are areas where there is a risk of fire or explosion due to the presence of flammable gases, vapors, or dust. In these locations, it's essential to use equipment that is specifically designed and certified for use in hazardous environments. The NEC classifies hazardous locations into different classes, divisions, and zones based on the type and concentration of the hazardous materials present. Each classification has specific requirements for the type of equipment that can be used in that location. EMT and fittings are often used in hazardous locations, but it's important to ensure that they are properly rated and installed. For example, in some hazardous locations, it may be necessary to use explosion-proof fittings which are designed to contain any explosion that may occur within the fitting. The NEC also addresses the issue of grounding and bonding of electrical systems. Grounding is the process of connecting the non-current carrying metal parts of an electrical system to the earth. Bonding is the process of connecting these metal parts to each other to create a low impedance path for fault current. Grounding and bonding are essential for protecting against electrical shock and fire hazards. The NEC provides specific requirements for grounding and bonding of EMT and fittings. These requirements include the use of grounding bushings, bonding jumpers, and other devices to ensure that the electrical system is properly grounded and bonded. In addition to the NEC, there are other standards and regulations that may apply to electrical installations. These include standards published by organizations such as the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, or IEE, and the National Electrical Manufacturers Association, or NEMA. It's important to be aware of all applicable standards and regulations and to ensure that the installation is compliant. The electrical industry is constantly evolving, with new technologies and products being introduced all the time. It's important to stay up to date on the latest developments and to continue learning about electrical safety and best practices. This can be done by attending industry conferences, reading trade publications, and taking continuing education courses. By staying informed and knowledgeable, electrical professionals can ensure that they are providing safe and reliable electrical services. In summary, the issue of Raintight EMT fittings is a complex one that requires careful consideration. While the absence of a Raintight marking on listed compression-type EMT fittings may raise concerns, it doesn't necessarily mean that the fittings are unsuitable for wet locations. The key is to understand the applicable codes and regulations, to consult with the AHA, and to take appropriate measures to ensure that the electrical system is adequately protected against moisture. Consider these points for best practices. Firstly, always verify the listing status of EMT fittings with the manufacturer and UL. Secondly, consult with the AHA to determine the specific requirements for rain-tight installations in the local jurisdiction. Thirdly, use additional sealing compounds or install the fittings in a sheltered location if necessary to ensure that the electrical system is adequately protected. Fourthly, follow all applicable codes and regulations for grounding and bonding of EMT and fittings. Fifthly, stay up to date on the latest developments in the electrical industry. Electrical codes are updated frequently, typically every 3 years, so ensure that you are using the latest version. Understand the difference between listing and labeling. A listed product has been tested by a third-party laboratory like UL to meet specific safety standards. A label product simply has a manufacturer's label on it, which doesn't guarantee third-party testing. When working in damp or wet locations, use boxes, conduit bodies, and fittings that are specifically listed for use in those locations, as per NEC section 314.15. Always use appropriate sealing methods, such as rain-tight connectors or sealing compounds, to prevent moisture from entering electrical enclosures and conduits. Ensure proper grounding and bonding of all metallic components, including EMT, to provide a safe path for fault currents and minimize the risk of electrical shock. Properly support EMT runs to prevent stress on fittings and connections, which could compromise their rain-tightness. Consider the environment when selecting EMT fittings. For example, stainless steel or coated fittings may be necessary in corrosive environments. When installing EMT in concrete, use fittings that are designed for direct burial to prevent corrosion. Always follow manufacturer's instructions for installing EMT fittings to ensure a proper and rain-tight connection. Regular inspections of EMT systems, especially in exposed locations, can help identify and address potential issues before they become major problems. Consider using a torque wrench when tightening compression fittings to ensure they are properly tightened without over-tightening. Electrical inspectors often focus on proper installation techniques and adherence to the NEC, so ensure that your work meets these standards. In areas prone to flooding, consider using flood-proof electrical enclosures and wiring methods. When running EMT underground, use direct burial rated conduit and fittings. Ensure that all EMT cuts are clean and deburred to prevent damage to conductors and ensure proper fitting installation. When making bends in EMT, use a conduit bender to avoid kinking or damaging the tubing. Properly ream the cut ends of the EMT to eliminate sharp edges that could damage wire insulation. When connecting EMT to electrical boxes, use appropriate connectors and lock nuts to ensure a secure and rain-tight connection. Use conduit straps or clamps to support EMT runs at intervals specified by the NEC. Avoid mixing different metals in an EMT system, as this can lead to galvanic corrosion. When installing EMT in areas with high levels of electromagnetic interference, consider using shielded conduit and fittings. Ensure that all unused openings in electrical boxes and enclosures are properly closed with suitable plugs or covers. When working with EMT, always wear appropriate personal protective equipment, including safety glasses and gloves. Always energize electrical circuits before working on them. If you are not a qualified electrician, do not attempt to install or repair electrical wiring or equipment.